Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Saadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner, and he's got his Polk High jersey on, representing Al Bundy, also representing the Cowboys, who understand they're going to play later on. And so I don't know, maybe cross everything, brother. I don't know. Hopefully, yeah, it's like the Dallas Cowboys, the Al Bundy of the NFL. I don't know. Anyway. Thank you, Donovan, for being here. And also thank you to Facebook and YouTube. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, but you are family. And sometimes we share the link. And if I do share the link and your profile looks like this, please show me your face. And then you can go back to that if you're not comfortable. All I ask is if I've never seen you on here before, please, once again, show me your face, because we do have a lot of shenanigans going on. I want to rule that out off the rip. Also, in the comment section, if we can be respectful to one another. It's not that we disagree, it's how we disagree. Also on the panel, if I do share the link, we haven't shared it in a while, so maybe I'll share it today. I'm not sure what the question will be, but also the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Let's see who else is on here before I get into why we are here. Jay Sims, how you doing? Marcus, what's going on with you? JT, how you doing? Antoine, hope you're doing well. Clifford, hope you're doing well. Painful Truth, what's going on with you? Praz, I hope everything is going well as well. H. McDaniels, welcome. One Who Cares, how you doing? Daryl Murray, what's good? That guy from Texas, how you doing? And brother Samuel, who else is on here? M. All right, and Anthony Johnson. So today, I'll be forgetting I'm not even on here no more. But today, we're going to talk about that of Magic Johnson. Of course, you guys know who Magic Johnson is. Magic Johnson is a part of the famed Lakers when they, obviously in Los Angeles now. But, I guess during the Super Lakers or whatever, when they were really playing fundamental basketball, whatever the case is. Of course, you guys know he is also, I called him a mogul because he's a businessman. I understand he's worth $1 billion, if not, more, give or take. He has a whole host of businesses, Starbucks, movie theaters, you name it, right? But he went stomping for that of Kamala Harris in Michigan, Flint to be exact, on Friday. And he admonished Black men. And I'll show you guys the video in just a second. But before I give it to Donovan, there's about 32 days left till voting. If you're not registered, you should go ahead and do that, because I know there's a deadline. I don't know how the deadlines work in each state, but just make sure that you're registered, that you're heard. Whoever you vote for is your business, and whatever you vote for is your business. As I say to you guys, me personally, I'm voting anything but blue for obvious reasons, and we'll get into some of those as we are here tonight. So I'm going to take that down. Donovan, what's going on with you?
Man, 100-degree weather here in October in California. The weather is very, very unusual. I got plants in my backyard blooming that shouldn't be blooming, but they are, and it is what it is. But welcome you guys to another exciting episode of the Demetra K Show. Glad to have you guys back. Please like, share, subscribe this on your platforms, and do us a favor. We have a scrolling banner at the bottom. If you want to donate, you can do so by those ways. You can do it by Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, money order, promises, check. We'll take it all, barter system, whatever you guys want to do. To do that, when you do that, that encourages the content creator to continue to have these great discussions and to continue to make great videos. Also, don't forget, we are on another person's platform. Whoever owns this platform, we're on their platform, so we are restricted in what we can say and what we can do. How we could avoid that or overcome that restriction and that, of our voices is we can download the African Diaspora News Channel app. And when you download the African Diaspora News Channel app, it's available on Google Play, Apple Store. When we have our own platform, then we set our own rules. But as long as we are on this platform, we have to abide by those rules. For those guys that don't follow me on my own channel, I was banned for, I don't even know what reason, from going live for over a month. And I just got free yesterday. And I made a video this morning celebrating that. But that's my example of we need to start going on our own platforms so that we can have the discussions that we need to discuss on our own between ourselves, talking the way that we talk. So again, Apple Play, Google Play, and the Apple Store, you can download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get additional videos from Demetra K, Brother Phil Scott, Vicki Dillard, and a host of contributors that produce videos on that platform. So download it today.
Absolutely. How you doing, Eric? Hope you're doing well. Brother Salam, what's going on with you? Volvo was up, and Trump in the good old days, good old ways. How you doing? He says, me as a white Christian for Trump, love seeing, we not colored people. We black. Well, how you doing anyway? Daryl Jenkins, how you doing? He says, the man who had no sexual control and got a disease. Talking about magic disease. The man who has a son built like Lawrence Taylor, but acts like Billy Porter. How you doing? Enlighten, how you doing? I knew somebody was going to go there. Brother Reggie says, I don't love magic. I don't know that. Right. Mike Nice, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Emmett, what's going on with you? Samuel C, how are you doing? Papa Nally, how you doing? Long time no see. Yeah, we watching that one, Miss D. We watching that comment. If I see it again, he gone. Well, he gone for real. I'm not sure where he coming from with that. But anyway, let's get into it, okay? So Magic Johnson, again, you guys, I gave you his dossier. Of course, he really needs no introduction. Again, a Laker businessman, probably a billionaire at this point. Father, husband, of course, you guys know that he does, and I've seen y'all talk about it. A son by the name of EJ, who, does like to dress in women's clothing and, wear makeup and all that other stuff. I'll let y'all do what y'all need to do with that. But anyway, he was stomping again for Kamala in Flint, Michigan. And to me, is like that, because, I guess Magic is from, Michigan, right? But he's out there, supporting Kamala. And this is what he said.
We got to get them out to vote. That's number one. Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things last time to the black community that he did not deliver on. And we got to make sure we help black men understand that. So that's why I'm here, to make sure I help black men understand. First, get out and vote, and then vote for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
All right, so I'm going to remove Magic. Okay, so basically, y'all as black men don't understand. Y'all don't understand. Of course, he said that Trump did not deliver on his promises to that of the black community. And my thing is, when they say stuff like that, I'd love for them to be specific. What exactly did he promise and what didn't he deliver on? Now, I specifically remembered that of Joe Biden on the night that he was elected. He stood up there and says to black Americans, you've had my back and I'm going to have yours. Now, of course, here we are at 29 days from what you guys say until the election takes place. And Kamala is struggling with the black vote. Now, she does have more of the black vote than Donald Trump, but she does not have a lion's share of the black vote like her predecessors, Obama, Hillary, and even Joe Biden. Last time I checked, Kamala is trending somewhere between 77 and 80%, give or take, right? And let's say somebody like Obama, who is black, right? And they're saying Kamala is black. Obama got like 98, 97% of the black vote, okay? Hillary, about 96, Biden, 92, 93. So it was up there, right? But Kamala, not so much. So when you think about it in those terms, Kamala's struggling with the black vote, and she was, and is Biden's vice president. Is it possible that a lot of black Americans who feel disenfranchised feel like Biden did not deliver on what he said he was going to do? Now, as I hear in my mind, Joe Biden talking about black Americans, you've been there for me, I'm going to be there for you. You know what I also heard? was the same thing Obama was saying, hope and change, hope and change. This is the change you can believe in. But again, as Ann Coulter said, nobody asked Obama to define hope and change. And did anybody, now I know I'm talking, for the most part, there's a lot of Black Americans who maybe have got off of the Democratic plantation, said, okay, great. We want reparations, right? If you're talking to Biden, well, reparations, which we know he said he wasn't going to do because he says, I'll be damned if I'm made to feel responsible for something my ancestors did 300 years ago, right? So we've been asking for things, but nobody really asked him to define what it means to have the backs of Black Americans. So 4 years almost to this point into his presidency with Kamala being there, what did he do? So if you have Magic Johnson standing up there saying, well, Trump didn't deliver on his promises, it's like, how you going to talk about Trump, but you're not talking about Biden, who is in the White House, and if he wanted to, he could still do something specifically for Black Americans. Now, I took it upon myself to look at both of Trump and Biden's the so-called promises to Black Americans, right? And so let me see here. Oops, let me go down. I'm just going to briefly go over some of the things that Trump did. Criminal Justice Reform, the First Step Act. Let's see what else. And we can get into more details about that. Funding for historically Black colleges and universities. Opportunity Zones, Tax Cuts and Job Act 2017. Let's see. Support for prison reform and reentry programs. Platinum Plan for Black America. Police Reform Executive Order, June 2020. And that was says in response to nationwide protests following the killing of George Floyd, Trump signed an executive order focused on police reform. The order aimed to create a national database for police misconduct, encourage the use of best practices in law enforcement agency, provide federal funding to police departments that implemented reforms such as increased use of de-escalation techniques. Okay, and so then Biden says American Rescue Plan. Okay, we hear a lot about that. One of the things it says the plan invested in addressing disparities in healthcare, including funding vaccination efforts, community health centers, and initiatives aimed at reducing maternity mortality rates, which are higher among Black women. Executive orders on racial equity. It says on his first day in office, Biden signed an executive order aimed at advancing racial equity across federal policies. This order directed every federal agency to review its policies and programs to ensure they are promoting racial equity and eliminating barriers faced by marginalized communities. Criminal justice reform. So in regards to crack cocaine, sentences reform. I say he's taking steps to reform sentencing laws, particularly around crack cocaine, which disproportionately affected Black Americans. I'm just reading some of the stuff. Police reform. Let's see. So basically, it's the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, Juneteenth. Economic initiatives targeting Black communities. And that's the Americans Job Plan and Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. And, you know, basically some of the same stuff, student loan debt relief, housing and home ownership. So the reason why I'm reading some of the stuff to y'all, Voting Rights Act, is because if you look at Joe Biden's policies, they're the everybody, all lives, that's what I like to call it, all lives matter plan, right? It includes everybody, marginalized community. But the difference between him and Trump, and y'all can fight with anybody but me. You fight with your mom, okay? These are the facts. Trump had the platinum plan for Black America. For Black America. It wasn't for marginalized communities. It wasn't for everybody else. It was for Black America. So again, we hear Magic Johnson sit up there and talk about, and this, hey, he didn't say Black women. He said Black men, which y'all need to understand, okay? Because like y'all some idiots, right? Y'all don't understand. So he up there to tell y'all that Trump didn't deliver on his policies, but never said anything about what Biden has done specifically for Black men or even Black people, right? So Donovan, with all of that, what is your thoughts on, and I'm going to get to y'all comment section. I'm going to try, y'all be typing. What is your thoughts on him saying to you and all the Black men to vote for Kamala because Trump has not held up his end of the bargain for the Black community. I want to say this, keeping in mind, the Platinum Plan was for his re-election, which Trump never got re-elected because obviously Biden won the election. Donovan?
All right. Well, let me just paraphrase that by saying one of the things that Magic is good at, he's a owner of the Dodgers, part owner of the Dodgers, the LA Sparks, and the Washington Commanders. So, when you're in those type of leagues, you're talking about billions of dollars. I mean, even if the Washington Commanders don't win, you're talking about almost $1 billion in profit, every season. So he's winning on those things. My question is this, I'm going to answer your question. What is it about these celebrities that they are will go against their own people, knowing the facts, knowing the statistics? This boule, it's just them. So it's kind of crazy. But to answer your question, as a Black man, I think it is very disrespectful to you to tell me as another man that I should get behind a person, be it a woman, be it an alien, be it whoever it is. And, and I don't understand, like, I'm not educated and I don't know, what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. The thing about the Democratic Party is, have you guys noticed they always talk about democracy's on the line and all this other stuff. But if we're in a democracy, don't you have a right to vote the way you want to vote? Don't you have a right to take your vote if you want to wipe your butt with it and throw it in the trash can? That's what democracy is about. But they keep telling you democracy's at stake. Do you guys know of anybody who voted for Kamala Harris in the primaries? Nobody voted for this person. So where's the democracy in that? As a Black man, it is very offensive when another Black man tells me how to be a Black man. Okay? I know ladies are saying that it's so ridiculous, but men are very aggressive when it comes to things like that. We're aggressive toward each other because I'm going to be a man the way I know how and lead my family. Good example, like Good Times. Not everybody follows the Joneses, if you know what I mean. Those people that follow the Joneses, sometimes it works out for them, sometimes it doesn't. But here is a man who leading his family, regardless of what his son is or what his son wants to be, whatever. As a man, I don't think that he did a very good job over there. As a Christian, what he's promoting goes totally against my Christian values. So what he doesn't understand is a real man makes their own stand. And every man's stance should be different. It might be similar, but it's different. And that's the difference between a man and a boy and a follower and a leader. Your stance is going to be your stance. It ain't what the Democratic Party says, what you got to understand. As a Black man, I'm going to tell you this, Demetra, and maybe some of you guys in the comments will agree with me. I am getting sick and tired of the Democratic Party always blaming me for them running a fucked up campaign. You've got the wrong candidate. All of these things are going wrong. And I'm getting sick and tired of the Democratic Party using me as a scapegoat of what's wrong with it. Kamala Harris polled as the worst Democrat to go against Donald Trump. That's a fact. She couldn't even get votes when she ran for president in 2019. She dropped out before her own primary in California because she was going to be embarrassed. This is what's wrong with the Democratic Party. You are insulting men that lead their families. So what do you think we're going to tell our sons and our daughters and things in our families? We ain't going this route. We're going over here where the money's at. We're sick and tired of being the scapegoats, and for them to continue to put the blame on Black men, it's going to backfire.
Yeah, and I don't know. You actually see a lot of people doing it, blaming Black men, mad at Black people, for not wanting to vote for Kamala. It's just insane. And it is backfiring because a lot of people are just like, you know what? You're actually turning me off. All the smoke, with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. They had her on there earlier this week, and she was on some podcast called Call Her Daddy with some white girl. And the comment section in those podcasts and YouTube channels are just, nah, this ain't it. You can't force us to do it. We don't like it. You know, we're not voting for her. And it's like, I don't know who's on her team or communications, social media, whatever it is, but it's like, y'all not reading the tea leaves. Y'all not listening to people saying that we want her to sit down with somebody and actually talk about something real. We don't care about what season is she putting in the greens, you know, how affectionate she is with Doug at night and how often she exercises. Nobody wants to care about none of all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, tell us something real. But as you guys are saying too, we are seeing her make comments about like what's going on in the South with the hurricane, Helene, the damage and stuff that's taking place. Over 200 people killed, hundreds people still missing. Whole towns have been wiped out. And she talking about, oh, y'all gonna be eligible for $750 in FEMA funds. It's like the town is gone, girl. It's gone. People like missing. You know what I mean? But yeah, as y'all said, she's sending all this money here and everywhere, and they, being her and Biden, have opened up the floodgates, the borders, and allowed all kind of people to come in here, and yet, you know, she still haven't given anybody a reason to vote for her. So it's just silly. But there's Magic Johnson sitting up there admonishing black men, oh, you need to support her because Trump. It's like, well, who's also to say that they're voting for Trump? Could be voting for Cornel West, could be voting for Jill Stein, Kermit the Frog, or whoever else it is, right? Why is it got to be Trump? But in that ideology, it's got to be Kamala, right? Lady Soul, how you doing? Who else is on here? A Freed Mind, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. I'm going to skip down and catch up with everybody. Young Deity, how are you doing? 6MK, how you doing? Says the gaslighting is ridiculous. It shows that the Democrats are not for the American citizen. I think y'all can see that by now, right? Trinity Love, how you doing? Who else came on here? Sister Shirley, what's going on with you? Says, who really cares about these people with the money? I'm sick and tired of them. You know, I definitely feel you. Emily says, so sad. Magic is mega rich, but encouraging us to vote for our own demise. Right. The people like Magic and all the other celebrities, they're never going to feel what the average everyday American's feeling. But there they are telling us what to do. Is like Malcolm said, the Black community is the only community that has puppets, comedians, and clowns, you know, and all the other entertainers for leaders, right? Quote unquote. They're not, but nobody else's community puts up their singers and tap dancers or whoever as a spokesman for their community. It just doesn't happen. Martin, how?
I mean, they ask them for their opinion, but their opinion really doesn't mean anything than anybody else's. That's a regular person. When white people are asking serious questions like what's going on in Israel, they go to people like Nancy Pelosi or Tom Cotton, you know, people that are supposed to be in the know. No, who do we go to? Comedians.
Legacy Tier Strategy, how you doing? You say they want something for nothing. They feel they own black men. Absolutely. Any other time they're going to tell you to shut up. And I saw somebody say something about Simone Sanders, basically telling black men, shut up. Stop speaking when you're not spoken to. Okay. Star Child, how you doing? Says, how much more money does Magic Johnson need? Good Lord, disgraceful. You know, he probably did it for free, you know? Yeah, he probably did it for free.
Well, I have a question for you guys in the chat. Okay, let's just use our common sense here. If you've been voting for 70 years, us as a people, we give a majority of our vote, 95% of our vote over the last 70 to 80 years to the Democratic Party, right? We've been doing that. And we're getting worse. We're not getting better as a people. We're getting worse. Do you guys realize black wealth in America right now is no more than it was than after the Civil War? And how do I say that? You got to look at the COVID that happened, and you got to look at the pandemic. You got to look at the housing crisis of 2008. We're losing our wealth in big chunks, right? So only an intelligent person will look and say, wait a minute, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again, and I'm expecting a different result. We all know that is insanity. So you've got to try something different. Now, is the Democratic Party saying, hey, we're going to do something and, you know, and really give it to us? We need it up front. No, they're not even saying that. Have you guys noticed this election season? They're not even talking about black issues. You know why? because California, a Democratic bastion of a state, just denied Black people reparations. And guess what? We don't have enough Black people in California to even have a voice anymore. That is the plan of the Democratic Party in conjunction with the Republican Party. We are now in a trick bag. And if we do not unite, they're going to corner us somewhere and it's going to be a wrap. And it's just that simple. I don't know about you guys, but I get tired of people who've only been here 5 years, migrated here 5 years, and they're doing better than me. Doesn't make sense.
Absolutely. All right. So back in the comment section, Lady Blue, how you doing? Dear Selfie says the Black celebrities are on cloud 9. I hope the dominant society humbles them soon. Oh, it will happen. JJ says it's been long overdue to teach the Dems a lesson. Don't vote for them. Yeah, it's time. If not now, when, right? The Codified Network, how you doing? Says I kindly take the blame with honors. Black first, okay? Mad Dog, how you doing? Says that's why his son EJ is the way he is. Yeah, I'll let y'all have that conversation amongst yourselves. Celia, how you doing? Says the Democrats have a lot of nerve expecting Black men to vote, while on the other hand telling Black women they're the backbone. Go to HE double hockey sticks with all that. The groups you gave tangibles to. Absolutely. And Black Snowflake, how you doing? Says Iran bought magic. Okay, I don't know nothing about that. King Mike, how you doing? Says they tried Taylor Swift and white people told her to shut up. Right, and even with all of that, the endorsements for Kamala, the concerts, and just a whole host of things, even the debate with Trump, she still did not get a significant bump, which she should have, and it hasn't, right? A lot of those things should have catapulted her, but it just hasn't. So she's
well. Think about the historic unions that always endorse Democratic candidates. They didn't even want to endorse her. So what is that telling you when unions do not want to endorse this candidate? The Democrats have, if they lose this election, they have nobody to blame but themselves. They put up a very bad candidate. And it isn't because she's a woman. I hate when people do this, Demetra. Oh, you just don't want to vote for Kamala because she's a woman. No, there's a lot of men that will vote for a woman. I would vote for Hillary if she was running right now. You know, at least we know she's competent. At least we know she's the most qualified person ever to run for the presidency in the United States history. We know she can do interviews. We know she can speak off the cuff. Did you guys see Kamala when her teleprompter went out? Did you guys see that? And this is what the Democratic Party is putting in front to leave the United States. How many of you guys know outside of the United States bubble, the patriarchy is very strong? If we have a woman president, ladies, and these are just facts. Women are not geared outside of the United States in the Western world to be leaders. These other countries do not respect countries that have women as leaders. I didn't make that up. That's just the way it is in the real world. I'm not saying Kamala can't be the president. She still has a 50-50 chance. But the fact of the matter is, Donald Trump, as they say in the swing states, are polling away from her. The Muslims are not going to vote for her in those swing states. She needs those swing states. If you're polling at 77% of the Black vote, let's just do the math. You can't win. You can't win. And I think they already know that. Her handlers know that. Everybody knows that. That's why they're like, to hell with it. Just run and we'll see what happens. She was a terrible candidate to put up. And it's very sad. And if you really think about it right now, the Democrats aren't even grooming for 2028. Now let's go to the Republicans. And I'm not big up in the Republicans, but you've got people like Tom Cotton. Who's that brother that's been a surrogate for Trump that's running around and just gave Angela Rye and all them, they're Brian Danielson, whatever his name is. The guy from Florida.
Byron Donaldson, Black Republican. They're already gearing up their, because if Trump wins, he can only serve one term and he's out of there. They're already gearing up their next candidates, and they're coming with strong candidates. So again, the Democratic Party has nobody to blame but themselves. And you are not going to get Black men on board when you keep scapegoating us. Absolutely. And let's see. Hey, Thunder, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Star Child, what's going on with you? Says any celebrity pushing Kamala and them Dems on us. And he said we should no longer support their work, rather films or music. I totally agree. And 48, thank you for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. Let's see who else came on here. Valiant, did I say how you do? Says you are correct. Hillary is a hella competent. Kamala isn't. Yeah, I think she's like Donovan said, one of the more qualified candidates that come along around in a long time. That she definitely is. Still a horrible woman, right? Legacy Tears says that's already a given. Uncle G say speaking to him. And Andre Watson, how you doing? Says yeah, they didn't respect Margaret Thatcher. Marcus, how you doing? Says she's getting trashed in poll projections. I doubt she's going to win. You know, as I always say, we'll know when we know. You know, during the election or even after. Avenge the Ancestors, how you doing? Yes, indeed. Damien says Jill Stein on the California ballot. Yeah, she's on quite a few ballots. Dr. Cornel West wasn't. Is having a hard time getting on. Lene, how you doing? Says Donovan, why would you support Hillary? Didn't her? I think he said, and bill negatively affect Black communities with mass incarceration.
Yes, absolutely. I said I would support her today if she was the candidate over Kamala. If that was my choice, I would support her.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. But you know, I know you're going off for whether she was off of qualifications. Yeah, Hillary was rejected as well. I remember Farrakhan saying she's an evil woman. Let's see here. Brother Samuel says white America tells Black ball players to shut up and dribble, except when it comes to using our entertainers to manipulate us, specifically Black people, through the leaders of sport and play. Yep, they could do that, right? But anything else, shut up and dribble. You're absolutely right. So it's Donald's, not Donald's son, Brother Reggie. Donald's, okay. Let's see. Hey, Ashley, how are you? Hope you're doing well. David, what's going on with you? Says Michelle and Hillary are no better. I agree with you. Black Snowflake says, sorry, reality is creepy. We are under Democratic rule. Are we? Who else is on here? Reality with GP. How you doing? Says just got here. I would like to say the migrant crisis has been a problem long before the Biden and Kamala administration. I say that due to having to pass Spanish 1 and 2 to graduate high school. So it's been a problem to a small degree, but never anything like we are seeing now. Never, ever, ever to this degree. So, but I hear what you're saying, though. Yeah, a lot of jobs you got to know Spanish to get hired. King Mikey said, I'd vote for Laura Trump. Okay. Andre says, what two worlds start with them? Democrats and, okay. The 2 words, rather, Demetra. Okay.
Let me ask you this question. How excited are you when this election is going to be over? How excited will you be?
I'll be excited because I'm tired of talking about it. However, politics is not just during election season, so we talk about it all the time, so people can be aware. But I think everybody's fatigued now. Everybody's fatigued. I just think at this point, most people probably know who they're going to vote for. Yeah, there's some undecided, but you know, I think even the undecideds kind of have an idea. I say though, for Kamala, she hasn't really given anybody else anything new. Like I watched the Call Her Daddy podcast today, right before I got on here. She wasn't saying anything new, anything profound. It's like the same old, right? As she says, it's what did she say? The same old playbook. Well, it's like
my mother raised me and my sister as a single mother, and she did all these other things. And you know, it's funny how she doesn't say she spent most of her raising in Canada in a affluent neighborhood and all that other good stuff, because she depends on people not doing their homework. People say, "Oh, she's from Oakland." Yeah, she was born in Oakland, but why isn't she saying when she does this analogy? Oh, when I was in Canada. Notice she never brings up Canada. She never brings up where she basically was raised. And that should ask you guys, well, if you were mostly raised in Canada, how the hell did you get bussed during the Biden, busing system? And
when she was a kid, when she was, like at grade school. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but how you in doing? Grade school, she was in Canada. So she would have had to been like in kindergarten or first grade or something like that.
Yeah, it was very early on.
Yeah.
CJ Love, how you doing? Says I have a strong feeling that Kamala will win. Many people are underestimating the Democratic machine. Like I said, People ask me all the time, who do you think's going to win? I don't know. We'll know when we know, because people thought Hillary was going to win. There was no way that Trump was going to win. That was the sentiment. And then lo and behold, he won. So I always say we don't know until all the votes are counted. That's when we know.
Well, I will say this. Democrat and Republican Americans know immigration is a problem. Now, California and the border states, we've been dealing with this for 60, 70 years. It's no big deal. Now, when it's in the Midwest and the problems are formulating in the Midwest and New York City and all these great places, now it's a problem. So if you go by the numbers, and this is just me predicting this, she could still win, but I highly doubt it. 77% of the black vote, you can't win. Put in the fact that the immigration is the number 2 issue most Americans. Either the economy's stupid or it's immigration, right? People are affected by the immigration. Then you got to remember the white women that weren't with Hillary, that were supposed to be with Hillary. You actually think they're going to be with Kamala? Don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, logically speaking, right? But stranger things have happened. We'll just, I don't know. I just think really no one, a lot of people aren't in love with either candidate. And because we do have this 2-party system, people feel like I have to choose one or the other. But I think with Jill Stein and Butch Ware, who are representing the Green Party, people getting to hear them more and learn about their candidacy. I think a lot of people are saying, okay, well, they won't win, but that gives me an opportunity to park my vote somewhere. You know what I mean? But yeah, I can't wait for it to be over. But whoever goes in the White House will still have a conversation, right? Abdul, how you doing? Says this Black America Freeman man is not voting or supporting Kamala Harris. Hey, Larry, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says I'm so disappointed in Magic. He can't recover from this. They must have begged him to address black men. They need black men to turn out to vote. Absolutely.
Well, the funny thing is not everybody's a Laker fan. So I think it was a mistake asking him to come out like that and use his celebrity, because you got a lot of people that are Chicago Bulls fans. You got a lot of New York Knicks fans. There's a lot of people out there in the 80s that did not like the Lakers because the Lakers went to the championship 9 times out of 10. They won, I think, 5 of them. So there's a lot of people that aren't really Magic Johnson fans. They respect him as business acumen, but as his celebrity of being Magic Johnson, no, it's not going to happen.
48, thank you once again for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. He says, in the words of Gazoo from the Flintstones, Democrats are dum-dums, but we the people are not. Great analogy. Let's see. Andre says, U.S. elections are the World Series, NBA, Game 7, and the Super Bowl are all rolled in one. Yep, that's why I say you never know till you know, because somebody might make an interception with 5 seconds left, and run it all the way into the end zone. So you never know. Sister Shirley says, I believe that almost everyone sees that Kamala isn't qualified. Yeah. And I think the podcasts and interviews that she's having is kind of illustrating that she is not. Because again, she cannot talk about anything other than what she's already talked about. She won't allow people to ask her questions off the cuff. It's the same.
Elitism. That's Indian elitism.
Well, to me, it's just like, I'm sure she's paying her campaign manager, somebody, whoever it is, a lot of money, and nobody's telling her to learn something else to talk about. We've heard all this stuff. Well, every interview that I've heard her do, I'd say every interview, because I watch them just because it's kind of what I do. But I'm like, I can almost I'm to the point to where I haven't memorized. I know what she's going to say. When they ask her a question, I know, oh, my mom said, Kamala, you may be the first, but just make sure you're not the last. I can answer the questions with her. So she's not telling us anything new. And I think that's a detriment to her, right? She knows what people want to hear. What about these wars? And there is a war in the Middle East. I don't care what you say. If you're not paying attention, go pay attention. People want to know about the immigration, all the money that's gone toward that. They want to know about inflation. Is it coming down a little bit? I guess it depends on who you ask, right? Most people say, I still cannot go to the store and buy a grape without worrying about, is it going to hurt my bottom line, right? So I don't know. Like I said, this election can go either way, but it really just remains to be seen.
Valiant Thor says exactly. If you don't think Kamala can win, y'all must have forgot about the 3 a.m. vote drops in 2020. So, and that's an old Democratic playbook right there. When they've used that in Chicago and a lot of the strongholds, New York, and places where they come up with these votes late at night and all this other great stuff. So that's it goes back to Lyndon Johnson. Lyndon Johnson was known as Landslide Lyndon all the way back in the 1940s when he ran for Congress.
Yep. And Russell, how you doing? Since I like magic, however, he should vote for whomever he pleases and let everyone else do the same. Additionally, none of the presidents have done anything specifically for Black men, but they feel like they have the right to get out there or to tell y'all, who to go vote for. And it's like, at what point do they say, okay, what we're doing and saying is not working? In just a second, I'm going to read y'all a tweet from Butch Ware, who was the vice presidential candidate for the Green Party. And I thought it was just so dope and amazing. I did a video on it. It'll be on the African Diaspora News Channel next week. Alteria, I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says, we won't know until the Electoral College tells us who they want to be president. Exactly. We won't know. Lynette, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And Sugar Unique, he says, you can't give a damn about the American people if you vote for horrible Harris and wacky Walls. Well, damn. The Mario says Kamala is well outside the margin of error for her to win. If she does, it's because they cheated. I don't know. Like I said, everybody's going to say this person did this, that, and the other. Will we ever know, right? But, Chorus, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Miss Sweets, for reminding people to hit the like button and share the stream. I love and appreciate you for that. DJ Charisma, how you doing? He says, I'm very mentally stressed. I can't wait until the election is over. Michael Myers will do a better job as president because he doesn't say what he's going to do. He just does it. Michael Myers 2024. I could dig it. Thunder, he says, immigration is no problem as long as it's in California and Texas, but the moment it reaches Iowa, it's a problem. I think at this point, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, Let's see who else came on here. Am I going to open up the link today? Lovely, how you doing? He says, I will be excited when my 45th and 47th president, Donald J. Trump, wins. Okay.
Let me ask you this real quick, because Damon Reeves brought it up. He says, wake the F up. Look how they're responding to those folks in North Carolina now. Demetra, what is your opinion on the Biden-Harris? And that's what kills me. People act like Kamala Harris is not part of the Biden administration. If you sign up to be, it's like me. Okay, I was in the Air Force, right? The Air Force bombed a hospital by accident or whatever, or intentional, who knows, right? Hypothetically. I'm still part of the Air Force. I can't run away from that. I hate these politicians that run away. She willingly joined this administration. So you just can't be part of the administration when it's good. You got to take the bad as well. So my question to you, Dimitri, is what is your opinion on the response of the Biden-Harris administration to the American people who need help in that devastated area? And another storm is on the way.
Yeah, there is another storm on the way getting ready to hit Florida. It said it looks like it may take a direct hit again, right? That same area, which is I don't know. I just think I think most politicians are tone deaf. And I take that back.
Ted Cruz wasn't, but go ahead.
And he's struggling to win his election too. It's not as easy breezy as it used to be. He's got in a very heated race as well. I think they think that the American people, the voters, are stupid. I think that's what they think. I think Kamala fully well thought she was going to get up there and announce that $750 will be available to you from FEMA. Like, it's kind of like Trump's paper towel moment, right? In Puerto Rico, when he was throwing the paper towels when they had the a hurricane or whatever it was over there. They think that we're stupid. They also think that we don't see all of the billions of dollars going overseas to fight these wars, and the billions of dollars being spent to take care of the migrants that are coming over here. They're not being, they might be being asked. I've kind of heard stories about that, but they're coming over here and they're fully being taken care of. Brother Tyrone Muhammad, he went live and he's in Chicago. He went live the other day and he showed where they cleared out, I think it was a Holiday Inn hotel, because I guess somebody learned about it because they were trying to go rent a room, but they couldn't even go on the property. And then they learned that they are housing migrants there. And obviously they're making more money to do it. But he's like, all the money that Chicago is still spending on these immigrants. And he was like, we got homeless veterans, we got homeless ex-cons, it's a homeless black women, but yet they're paying for migrants to be up in a hotel, So I think that they should obviously do more for people of natural disasters, but they don't want to. We saw that in Katrina. It took them forever to even acknowledge that, victims of Hurricane Katrina needed help. So Walter Davis, how you doing? Says all over the internet and the media, people are making Kamala growing up in the U.S. She was 12 years old when her mother moved and her sister to Canada. Yeah, that's why I know that she was. She did go to school. From what I understand, she really was bused. So that I don't dispute that. Marcus says Kamala has to be sipping Long Island iced teas. I know she slurred a speech, a slurred speech when I hear it. I don't know. Ren Facts. She says Magic was speaking mellow and tried to not insult like DL. Yeah. Angela, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. 48 TCO. He says they're telling her, Demetra, she said, F them blacks. I'm not doing anything just for blacks. No, cackle, cackle. Yeah, that's what she said. I'm not doing anything specifically for black people. A lady, how you doing? Long time no see. He says, I cannot see women supporting a man that has SA cases. He's a predator. That is what they say. He is a predator for what they're saying, but I mean, most of them are. They also said the same thing about Joe Biden. That got swept under the rug. They also said, now I know Kamala's husband won't be the president per se if she wins. They just came out with, he slapped one of his girlfriends because somebody in valet was talking to her.
Yeah, looking at her or something.
Yeah, and he slapped her all across her face to where she went flying. Also said that her husband, fathered the baby with the nanny or whatever. So it's like, on one hand, you got Kamala up there calling Trump a predator, but she ain't talking about her own husband. You know what I mean? Or Joe Biden, he had just as many allegations against him, but somehow people forget that. So I say all that to say they all got issues. We acting like one of them is better than the other. However, as I always say, and I'm going to say it again, we talk more about the Democrats because the Democrats get more black votes than the Republicans do. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the Republicans. They rarely get 15% of the black vote in any election. But here we are as black voters, people giving all of our votes, most of them to the Democrats, and they tell us no, and they tell everybody else yes. And we're talking about Trump being a predator. Hell, they all a predator, all the way down to George Washington. All of them. So if we don't, if we're going to split hairs, let's make sure we split hairs the right way, because true indeed, Trump wasn't a predator when he was a Democrat, was he? But when he became a Republican, all of a sudden he's a predator. Let me say this other thing too. You heard Biden and Kamala and everybody else say, oh, the DOJ is an independent organization. Oh, we have nothing to do with the cases, blah, blah, blah. Because, Trump is saying he feels like this is a witch hunt. A lot of other people saying they feel like it's a witch hunt. Okay, so Biden and Kamala have separated themselves from the DOJ. Why is it all of a sudden the DOJ is going after the police officers that killed Breonna Taylor and all these other civil rights cases that went dormant for a long time because those officers in Kentucky, they got away with it. But now in the 11th hour, the DOJ is all of a sudden picking up all these cases. What does that not make you think that maybe Kamala and Biden went over there? Hey, Garland, how y'all doing? Can y'all go ahead and expedite these cases? Because those cops in Kentucky and Mississippi and everywhere else, they're just casualties of war. We'll sacrifice them. So what I'm saying is, if on one hand you believe that what Biden says that they have nothing to do with the DOJ, but now all of a sudden the DOJ is picking up these civil rights cases of black people that were taken out of here by police officers, some ain't right. So what I'm saying is, we're sitting up here talking about he's a predator. Let's have the whole conversation, not just nitpick. Because on the other vein, people say, oh, how can he vote for a felon? He got always got to vote. Felons can vote. Felons can vote in most states if they do A, B, C, and D, and some of them could just outright vote once they've done their time. So instead of us just espousing talking points and memes and stuff without any backing to it, let's have a whole conversation. Because if I was a felon and I keep hearing y'all talk about how, oh, he's a felon, how could he vote? I'll be like, well, then I'm not going to vote for you because you don't think felons can vote. I'm just saying.
Well, let me add to that. I always hear these people talk about, oh, Donovan, how could you vote for such an immoral person and this, that, and Donald Trump? Okay, and if that's, your opinion of what an immoral person is, he paid for some coochie. All right, I mean, you got OnlyFans out here. You got people going to the DR and overseas to these little places and doing what they do, right? Yes, he was a married man. He stepped on his wife. I believe that's an issue between him and his wife. But yet, he did it secretly until it came out because he's a public figure, right? If the gotcha moment, right? Okay, it came out. I think it's very hypocritical, Demetra, when you hear these people talk about immorality, and yet Kamala Harris had an open relationship. She didn't try to hide it. It was an open relationship with a married man in the name of Willie Brown. So which is it? Either he's immoral or she's immoral, or maybe they're just both immoral. And what I don't like is the fact that we have such crappy candidates, and the people that like yourselves out there, you guys don't want to get involved. And these immoral people win election, and we pay their salaries, and we do all this. Look at what's going up in Dalton, Illinois. The allegations that's going up there. The woman down in New Orleans, and all these mayors and stuff that are, going all over the place. Unfortunately, though, the DOJ seems to be going after the black mayors and the black leaders, so-called leaders, even though there's white mayors all over the United States that are probably doing the exact same thing. So that's a question of it. And then when we talk about the DOJ, have you noticed, isn't it kind of strange how the DOJ, using that one black chick, she's in charge of the Civil Rights Division of the DOJ, she is opening an investigation of that city, the police officers that are like really corrupt against black people down there. All of a sudden, during election time, this woman for the last 4 years has been sitting on her ass collecting a check. All of a sudden, she is going to investigate a black issue or a black problem. But then when it's anything else, you're charging crimes on this person, that person, this time. Why is it that when black people have an issue, we get investigations? The lady that killed Emmett Till, or helped kill Emmett Till, she went to her grave without any responsibility. Last time I checked, there is no statute of limitations on murder. So what took the Biden administration so long to charge this woman with a crime? See, we get investigations. We don't get justice.
They said they closed it. They said there's nothing here. She said she didn't do it. So
yeah, but see what I'm saying? We get investigations. We don't get people charged with crimes or anything of that nature. And yet people are telling me, and this is just my personal opinion, the Democratic Party, in my Christian faith, is promoting lifestyles that go against that. Notice all of these people, and by the way, have you noticed that they do not highlight the picture of Kamala Harris and Diddy, the diddler, together? They don't do any of this stuff. All the Hollywood has gone silent.
Together?
Yeah, there's a picture of them not at a party or something, but maybe in LA when she was a district attorney. There's a picture of her together, whatever they do. Not that it means anything, but what I'm saying is, the Democratic Party always seems to be attached to these type of situations. And look at all of these people that are now quiet or scrambling or doing these type of things, and they promote this lifestyle. Magic Johnson can say whatever he wants to say. You could love your son the way you want to love your son, but I love my son. If my son lived an alternate lifestyle, good for him. But that's something I'm not going to promote as a man, personally. And that's just me personally. But why is it that the Democratic Party, why do they keep switching words? We're talking about deleting children, not women's rights. Women's rights has nothing to do with deleting children. So the right to delete your baby is something that is an issue. When has a woman not ever have the right to do that. Even though this thing is now at a state level, if you agree with me or not, you can still delete your child if that's your choice. You just got to go to the state. If you live in a state that doesn't allow it, go to a state that does. But they put these wedge issues involved in there to make it a man versus woman and a man. You know, it's just a crazy thing. It's just very, very sad. But the DOJ has been weaponized.
I'm reading your comments. I'm behind. Okay. Amy, you say, and Yiko, how you doing? Thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you. I hope you're doing well. We are doing fabulous. He says, Demetri, that story has not been verified about VP Kamala Harris. Trump was indeed a predator since Trump has been in politics. He's been voting for Republicans. Film short. What story about Kamala Harris? Her husband with the nanny? Her husband slapping somebody? They said there's a copious amount of witnesses that knew about the situation when he allegedly slapped the lady or whatever the case is. But see, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I wasn't there when Trump was a predator or when her husband was one. But the point being, don't give it all a conversation, because if you're about being fair and balanced or whatever the case is, then give it all a conversation, not just the points that you like or the points that you dislike. Talk about it all. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let's see here. Tisha, how you doing? Says, I agree with Donovan. You cannot separate from an agency when the mood suits you. Yep. Amy says, Trump is not an example I want for my kids. In other words, I don't want none of them for an example for your kids, and you should be the example for your kids, not somebody outside of you. And I always say that, how's somebody, not you, Amy, per se, but I'm saying, how's somebody else outside of you more of an example for your children than you? Kamala would never be an example for my daughter more than me. Trump will never be an example for nobody outside of my family other than us. See, that's the problem with us too, especially with politics. We want somebody to do for us what we should do for ourselves. So with that, the Nation of Islam talks about doing for self. Marcus Garvey talked about doing for self, but God dang it, we want our check. We want our money too. Of all the things that our ancestors been through and the stuff that Black people are still going through now, and the reparations that was denied to us, we want that. But we should not be looking to nowhere in Washington, per the words of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for them to do anything for Black people, because they're not, whether they're a Republican or a Democrat. However, since the Democrats do benefit from the Black vote more than anybody else, any other party, then yeah, we need to teach them a lesson. Malcolm X even admonished us. Says anybody who votes for the lying liberals is a traitor to the race, because they will lie to your face and tell you, oh yeah, I got you, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other, and they don't do it. So that's all I'm saying. We the people, how you doing? It says, is that the same in Oakland Children's Hospital, EMOF, that had the huge pulling the plug case with the little Black girl and Black family? I haven't heard anything about that. So I guess I'd be interested in learning more. Candy Maloney says, I'm an ex-felon and I vote. There you go. So Candy, being an ex-felon, is she not supposed to vote? But for those of y'all running around talking about Trump as a felon, how can he vote? If, like I said, if I was a felon, I would take exception to that. Well, that means that y'all not interested in what since y'all being Democrats don't think that we should be able to vote, then we ain't gonna vote for you. That old brother Tyrone Muhammad has an initiative, ex-cons for Trump, because he says that ex-cons, and those are his words, not mine, they're completely being left off. But he feels like Trump was doing something for people in prison, the First Step program, letting them out, and things like that. So, y'all should be careful of the things that you say. And also, ex-predators can vote as well.
As a matter of fact, didn't Trump pardon that one Black lady that was convicted on a drug possession or failure thing? Alice Johnson, yeah. I mean, out of the blue, she wasn't rich or anything like that. He just said that her conviction was wrong. He didn't believe in it, and he pardoned her. How many Democrats have pardoned regular Black people? Obama didn't even do it. He let his rich friends and buddies out, but he didn't do the average everyday person.
Brother Sam, you say people say vote for anybody other than Miss Harris is a vote for Mr. Trump and not whom we voted. Well, it's so critical, I'm sorry, to vote for her, then why aren't Black people given something specifically? And they never want to answer that question. And a vote for against Kamala is not a vote for Trump. Oh, which brings me to this. Let me get down to the bottom, and I want to read this tweet from Butch, Dr. Butch, where I should say, Curly Girl, how you doing? Jesse, you say facts. A lady, he says, I could never hire a person with his record of bankruptcies and failed business be in charge. But again, y'all was all right with that when he was a Democrat. Now that he a Republican, y'all phony. Y'all phony as his tan and phony as Kamala's accent. Okay, y'all phony. Hold on. Y'all phony. Because again, Trump was a lifelong Democrat up until, a couple years back. Nobody had nothing to say about none of that then. Yeah, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Hillary, Bill, they was all partying and good timing with this so-called failed businessman and predator. But when he ran as a a Republican, that's when everybody had a problem with it. You don't think that's just a little phony? Lady, let me ask you this. Do you have the ability to think for yourself? Or are you led by your bull, your ring, and allow people to tell you how to think? I'm just asking.
And I just want to add this, you guys. And I know you guys are intelligent, whatever, but I'm just gonna make it plain as possible. If you want to understand Democratic policy and what it does, just look at the state of California. That's all I gotta say. Look at California. That is Democratic policy, period. And this is what will happen if a Kamala Harris, a California politician, becomes president. She wants open borders. She wants us to give money and all this other stuff and replace, come on, y'all. Just look at California. If California doesn't shock you, I don't know what will.
Let's see here. Bradley, how you doing? He says, that's why I love y'all. We love you too. He says, people live in a land where the founders murdered, raped, if you will, and pillaged by a piece of paper. How moral were they? Yes, what I'm saying. All the way back from then. And now all of a sudden, y'all want to hang all that on one man. They all been doing it. All of them, every last one of them. But now all of a sudden, y'all so righteous and want to talk about one man. It's like, y'all tell me that you are fed information without thinking for yourself. That is very apparent to me. All right, so let's see here. Because I want to get down to this. DJ PD, how you doing, Brother Perry? He says some of those residents out in North Carolina have been denied those $750 FEMA assistance requests. And the other thing is not right away. I got FEMA for the hurricane that happened here in July, and it took like a month or so to get it. So they don't. I don't know. Maybe the checks will go out sooner, but they took them forever to send them out. Brother Samuels, you say that woman that lied was Carolyn Bryant. Yes. Emmett Till. Yeah, and per the law that they made about Emmett Till, they didn't try her by it. Teacher says Diddy donated to her campaign. Yeah. He's a Democrat, right? Brother Reddy said, so Diddy, the dealer, was dealing Kamami. You know what? I think I know the picture that Donovan was talking about. It was deemed to be fake. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know all of Kamala's dwellings and the stuff that she does. I'm just telling you what I heard. Angela Caraway says, exactly, the Democratic Party are like Sodom and Gomorrah. I think they all are. Let's see here. Let's see. Hey, Brother Stephen, how you doing? Tell your wife we said hello. Blocka, how you doing? Where you been? And has anybody seen Brother Easy? Have not seen Easy in a while. Where is he? He says,
we need Black America back here to balance this show out.
I think he's a little upset with me. Said, I've never seen us involved in two proxy wars at the same time, yet gas prices are dropping instead of rising. I wonder why. Well, I just heard a report that the barrels of oil are now a little bit higher than they were. So you can expect those gas prices to come up again. So,
right. And then let's look at basic economics. If you keep printing money and throwing it into the economy, and what we mean is they're not even giving it to us. They're throwing it to Ukraine, Taiwan, Israel. All this money is just being printed. That is going to hyperinflate inflation because you're putting too much money into the market. And that's one of the biggest problems. They keep giving this money to these allies, and that's really what's making the inflation get worse.
Brother Reggie says Doug Emhoff knocked up the nanny while he was married. That's a fact. He up here talking about toxic masculinity. Man, beat it. Right. A lady says Melania is a corn model. He says she still has pictures online. So what? And she was that before her husband ran for office. That's not a secret that she was a model. You're saying that she, did some pornographic stuff. What? That's not so. And so what? So what? That's not a secret. That was her choice. Let me finish. She was that before, long before Trump decided to run for office. But I don't hear Trump running up there calling other people names and predators and stuff. That's Kamala and them doing that, but they ignoring the predators in their own party. Hell, she go to bed with one. One knocked up the nanny. That's why he got a divorce. And he even said when he was up there at the convention, I admit I did some things that I'm not proud of in my last marriage. He said that because he knew those reports are out. So again, y'all want to talk about one side, but don't want to talk about the other. You don't have the ability to think rationally. You don't. And that's why, unfortunately, our country is the way it is because we got too many emotional people running around. They all predators. As Donovan said, Kamala was running around with another woman's man in her face. In her face. Is that moral? And where does that say that's moral?
Yeah, but the sad thing is because she's a woman, you're not supposed to bring it up. See, don't bring that up because she's a woman. You're going to shame. That's woman shaming and all that other stuff. But it's okay to call Donald Trump all the names and stuff because he's a man, so he's supposed to do all that. But here's another thing about the pornography. Pornography today is more acceptable than it was 40 years ago. So we're not talking about, the brown paper bag in the theaters in San Francisco where you kind of hide your little thing like that. You got women out here like Cardi B doing whole interviews with the president of the United States, and she's allegedly drugging and robbing men. And she was an ex-stripper and all this other stuff. It's more acceptable today. So it doesn't matter if Donald Trump's wife was a former porn star. Nobody cares.
48 TCO, thank you once again for the donation. Love it. Appreciate you for that. It says, oh, Lord, not Kamala. Maybe a Diddy take. Oh, Lord, now I don't know. Oh, my God. I don't know about all of that. I'm not even want to get all off into that. But I'm saying, people talking about him being a predator, but they don't want to talk about everything else. Like I said, Melania was a model or whatever type of model she was that before Trump ran for president. But again, it's not Trump up there calling people predators. It's y'all people calling people predators. And so y'all act like nobody is supposed to, mention any of that other stuff. Kamala ain't perfect. Like I said, she was seen. Right, that's not an allegation. She was seen running around with, Willie Brown, and that's her business. But if y'all keep bringing that stuff up, have the whole conversation, ma'am. Don't just tell half the story. That's all I'm saying.
Right. And then if we're talking about telling the whole story, there's video and pictures of Donald Trump and Epstein together. And him and his wife at the time, I think maybe his girlfriend, I don't know. Allegedly they were at these parties. Who cares at this point? Nobody cares. These people are all junk. They're all junk.
I mean, Bill Clinton was damn sure on Lolita Island. Y'all don't never talk about that. And yeah, that's why I said when he got up there and he was giving his little spot, he was giving a speech during the convention. I said, I know he better not get up there and call nobody a predator. He better not fix his mouth to do it. He being Bill Clinton. Anyway, hey, Charlotte, how you doing? Let's see here. T-Turn, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Am I that far behind? Let's see. Tell it like it is. How you doing? Says, I wish I would stand in line to vote for any of these clowns. If we can't get what we need, it's the couch for me. Yeah, there's some people talking about they stand on the couch. Tisha says, listen, Donald J. Trump is a New Yorker. As long as he wasn't in politics, he was fine. As long as he was a Democrat, he was fine. Both candidates make me want to vomit. But if Trump was as eloquent and inclusive and calm as he was in the 90s, he'd win everyone over. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He was good then. Now all of a sudden, he the worst thing on 2 feet. And I'm not saying he's not, but damn, they sure did love him some Donald Trump when he was a Democrat. But now all of a sudden, knock it off.
Why isn't anybody asking this question? if
Hold
January.
Hold on. See, you're speaking things you have no knowledge of. He was a Democrat.
Yeah. That might be a troll, but why isn't anybody thinking of this? January 6th happened. Supposedly he went against the Constitution and all this other stuff like that. Why didn't they arrest him then? Why, since he did such a heinous crime, why wasn't he arrested then? Why did it take so long for the Democrats to get his taxes? Why did, even through an impeachment, which means absolutely nothing as we see, they couldn't remove this man? All of the stuff that the Democrats have tried. I want you guys to think about this. If Donald Trump said, you know what, forget it, I'm going to, like Ice Cube, I'm going to go back and enjoy the rest of my life. I've got millions of dollars. Screw y'all. Do you guys honestly believe if he wasn't running for president in this cycle, they would have had all the court cases against him? They would have let him go on into the sunset and be to himself. He is a consequential threat to the Democratic machine that wants to open these borders along with the Republicans. Now, notice the Republicans are quiet pretty much about the borders being open. They're just letting the blame go to the Democrats. But these corporate Republicans and Democrats, they want these illegals to be in here. And if Kamala gets into office, and they've slipped and said it time and time again, they are going to legalize these illegals and give them some form of legalization. And that is the whole plan altogether. They're going to give them blanket amnesty, just like Reagan did in the 80s. That is the plan. And if they do that, 20 million so-called people here illegally in less than 4 years, Black people make up what, 60 million people, maybe 80 million people of the United States, and these people got here in 4 years. We're going to be vocally irrelevant. This is the plan. This is the Democratic plan.
Savvy Soldier, how you doing? Says my issues are with open borders, multiple wars, open check book to Ukraine, illegals flooding Black communities, boys playing in girls sports, men, boys and men and women's restrooms, high cost of living. Yeah, I got you, Donovan. Yeah, so a lot of people have things that they don't like. First Fruits, how you doing? Says Democrat, neoliberal, left wing versus Republican, neoconservative, right wing, the same white supremacist talking turkey bird. Why does a genocide continue against FBA? Because all other races are comfortable in white supremacy. You said a word there. Brother Arson, how you doing? It says Cam's husband did what? Anyway, it says politics question for Donovan. All that money sent abroad for wars by the U.S. What would happen if they didn't? What is the exact relationship here?
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Arson. Right now, they are giving them billions of dollars unaccounted for. They don't know what they're doing with it. We know Zelensky used to be an actor, and now he has a resort and a super yacht. We don't know where that money's going. We have no clue. But most likely, Russia will take them over and become part of the Russian Federation, and maybe bad things will happen. But right now, all that money that's going over there, according to the OMB, there's no oversight. We don't know what they're doing with the money. We have no clue. I would say it's probably going in politicians' pockets. That's what I would say.
Garuda, if I didn't already, how you doing? Says we need to support Black women like Kamala. Well, whether you believe she's Black or not, that's on you. Why? What has Kamala done to support Black people? What has she done to support Black women? When she went to the vice president to be the vice president of the United States, there was 2 Black women in California that could have been senators. One was the mayor of San Francisco, and there was another sister. I can't remember her name, but London Breed was one of them. And she was all right with the Hispanic. And as I said, Kamala was the only Black, because, she was Asian for a while, senator in Congress. But now, at the time, there wasn't any. I don't know if there's any now, but there's a Hispanic man that she thought was better to do the job. So you're talking about supporting women like Black women like Kamala. Does Kamala support Black women? Hell, she sat on Joy Reid's show and interviewed with a white woman during a Joy Reid slot. Now, to me, if she's supporting Black women, like you want us to support her because she's a Black woman, You'd have thought she would say, this is Joy Shaw. This is my girl. This is my home girl. She needs to be interviewing me. But yet, again, not even just with Kamala, but the Democrats. We're supposed to support the Democrats, but the Democrats don't support us. We're not talking about the Republicans because, again, Black people don't overwhelmingly vote for the Republicans. I feel like I got to keep saying that because for some reason, people's heads is just like thick. You know what I mean? I don't get it. And like I said, I'm not the smartest person in the world, not even nowhere close. But sometimes I think I'm not even from this world because some of the things that are just obvious aren't obvious to people. It's like, are you that thick? I don't know. Anyway.
Well, if she's for Black women, why does she lock so many Black women up? A good friend of ours has been proven, and she's gone on interviews that said, hey, this woman did so many detrimental things to Black women. And most of the people that did get locked up under the truancy law were Black women. I'm sure there were some Hispanics and stuff, but the majority of them were Black women.
Yeah, they don't want to never talk about that, and listen, I'm not saying I was never a Democrat. I was a Democrat, okay? But I'm one of those people, when I get knowledge, I get new information, I sit with it. I think about it. And I say, is it true? Okay, it's true. Now, once I get that information, I'm not going to keep on operating in ignorance. But some people just choose to do that. Like, why do you keep operating in ignorance? We said I'm supposed to help Kamala because she a Black woman, but her so-called Black ass ain't helping Black people. In fact, she said, no, I'm not going to do nothing that just benefits Black people. No, that's what she said. Listen, that is word for word what she said. But yet we as Black people, and I'm going to read this tweet from Dr. Butch Ware, which, hey, CJ, how you doing? Another day 3, how you doing? You said, you crazy. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. I wouldn't know I wasn't there. Butch Ware said, this is a quote, y'all taking votes away from the Dems. And he says, is a racist argument. They believe that they have propriety, ownership over certain demographics. People of color are not your property. It says people of color, but says we are free citizens. We can vote for whomever we wish. We reject demographic slavery. Right? So he's saying, y'all don't own us. You don't have no ownership of us. But since we're supposed to own Kamala, she's our Black sister. She's Black and this, that, and the other, and vote for the Black woman. And what has she done for Black people? None of y'all can answer that. And that's, to me, I don't, really get frustrated about this too much. But I get frustrated to hear people die on a hill and you don't even know what the name of the damn hill is you're dying on. Kamala wouldn't even, if you was on fire, Kamala wouldn't spit on you to put you out. But yet you want to get spicy, salty, and flossy what everybody else is telling you to think. Think for yourself. Now I'm going to vote blue no matter who. Trump's a felon and Trump. But the Democrats benefit from Black people, but Black people don't benefit. But then y'all talking about vote for Kamala because she Black? The bottom of my damn shoe is Black. Should I vote for that?
I'm going to have to come back at you for one thing. Demetra, you said when the evidence is there, you usually go with the evidence. Okay. Everybody, pause. I want you guys to listen to this because it's very important because I've got to talk to my friend. Demetra, El DeBarge will never marry you. Okay. It's not going to happen.
I just want him to know all this love is waiting for you. Whenever you're ready, baby. Whenever you're ready. BJ said, how low has this country sunk that we can only find these two clowns as the leader of the free world? I totally agree with you. When I saw the vice presidential debate, I said, them two should be at the top of the ticket because their top of the ticket are clowns. They sat up and argued with each other over dumb stuff. The whole 90 plus minutes they were there, it was dumb. We didn't learn anything new from Kamala or Trump. Kamala ain't better than Trump. Trump ain't better than Kamala. They're both the same. But at least their vice presidents they were articulate. They weren't arguing. They answered the questions as best they could. You know what I mean? It was civil. But those two were talking about crowd sizes and Joe Biden hates her and just stupidness. And that's what they think people want. All right, so let me go all the way down to the bottom because I know y'all up in here, and I see your comments. I don't want you guys to think that I don't, but I do. ADRM said, did y'all see during Aretha Franklin's memorial service when Ariana Grande was performing, did anyone notice how Clinton was staring a hole in her to her? She was wearing less of course, Jesse and Al shaking my head. Yeah, I saw it, but I also saw dear brother Farrakhan, Minister Farrakhan, I should say. I was not paying none of that no mind because nobody even want to sit next to him, and he was just off being, the God he is. Russell says that's right. Use the Air Force logic, Donovan. Brother Damon says that's Demetria's sexy side when she uses bad language. Oh, I'm so sorry. CJ said, I know folks in Asheville, and it's being very poorly handled. Yeah, they said that whole town is gone. And Kamala going on a call her daddy a sex podcast talking about her mama and them. JD, how you doing? Says I don't need a sports figure like Magic Johnson or celebrity to tell me who to vote for. Yeah, he thinks you do, though. He thinks you do. Let's see who else came on here because I know you guys are gone in. Kara, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yes, you're absolutely right. B. Baker, he said 47.9 million African Americans. Yes, that's about right. What we are in population here. Brother Ray says Cam is not black. I know how I feel about that. How good evening to you, Marlon. Says it's funny how they speak on how Trump is bad for black people, but Kamala has actually created policies that hurt black community directly. They don't never, ever want to talk about that. Never. Nyla, how you doing? Says Kamala is allocating $750 to U.S. citizens while simultaneously allocating billions for wars and illegals will not win her North Carolina and Georgia. And it's not just black people, but a lot of other people like, hell to the no. I cannot do it. I'm sorry.
How many of you guys saw the Joe Biden interview, which was a catastrophe? He is not there. His body's there, but it's obvious he's not there. He said that every decision, it's almost like he's giving the middle finger to the Democratic Party since they ousted him and stuff. And he basically said that she was in on every decision. The Inflation Reduction Act, 30-something tie votes. She was the deciding vote to put us in the position we're in today. And he basically said that, she was the border czar, everything that's happening, she was in on it. So for her to try to run away from policies, he was like, no, she was right there. She was right there with me. So how many of you guys saw that interview?
A lady says, we know at the heart of all is disdain for Kamala as misogyny. Then what do you call it when women don't like her? It is not even about her. It's about her policy. So you're just making up stuff. Now, I'm looking at your profile picture. You look like you're a fully grown woman. And that's how you think. It's misogyny. And that's the problem with, I will agree with Donovan, why a lot of people don't want to vote for women because y'all make up the dumbest stuff. Misogyny.
Blame a black man. Blame a man.
Damn her policies, but it's misogyny. That's that believe all women, or because she's a woman, she can't be questioned. It's not misogyny, it's her policies. So, like, I don't know. I don't even know what else to say. I don't even know if I can address you anymore because it's just a little silly at this point. Love you dearly, but it's just getting silly.
And then here we go. If the standard is for men to go to interviews and do these things, why do women have to have a lower standard? That would be discriminatory, in my opinion. If you're going for the job, the standard says this: you should be at the same level as everybody else. It isn't fair to a man or to an Asian or whoever that because you're a woman, the standard needs to be lower. I mean, physicality, we get that, but we're talking about a job that requires interviewing skills, all these different things that have nothing with physicality. Why should the standards be lower because you're a woman? But because you can't meet those standards, it's misogyny. So go ahead and blame a man because that's the go-to, that's the backup. But yet men aren't supposed to say anything on a woman's body. A man doesn't give a damn if you get a BBL. We don't give a damn if you get your breasts done, but we do give a damn when half that child is ours. We want to say something about it. Just like when you guys go to child support and you say, I didn't make this baby by myself. It's the same exact argument. If I'm supposed to pay child support for a baby that I helped create, I should have say so in a baby that I helped create. Makes sense to me.
Nora, she says, I had a black person tell me we're not supposed to get anything here in 2024. All I could do is say, damn. And you know what, Brother Norris, they believe that fully, because it's like, just vote for her. Yeah, we don't deserve nothing. Why we always want a handout? It's like, hush your mouth, right? Walton says, your blood pressure is kind of high today. No, my blood pressure is fine. You know, I have to get it off my chest. Your blood pressure actually gets bad when you don't, let it out. But nah, I'm just very passionate. I just, I'm trying to choose my words. I think that's where the stress comes from. But at some point, we just got to stop being silly. And people always ask me, why you never leave the house? This is why. This is why I try to avoid unnecessary stuff as much as possible. Jerry, how you doing? He says, Kamala, the Hill is, they not like us? What? Don't need, how you doing? Michael Davis, she says, that ish is frustrating how insulting they defend Kamala with no tangibles. No, they just like, why? You're gonna die on the Hill and you don't even know what it's for. Because my mama told me to do it. The Democratic Deacon Board of the First Damascus Church of the Tabernacle, east of the West Missionary Baptist CME Church, said that's why we need to do it. James says, and she said, take heed in this. No, we're not going to vote for Democratic Party, especially Harris. No, to benefit Democrats, and that's our vote. Absolutely. CJ says, Ms. D, they would tell you to vote for Yeshua if Trump is the opponent. They would. It's crazy. Vote Shu no matter who. Renari said, Demetri Donovan is right. Trump is surging in almost all the swing states, and in several sources, Trump has taken the lead. Yeah, I saw that, but polls are polls, but the votes are the votes, right? Let's see who else. And Big Bad Fresno up in here. He says, just put her in there. Who else is there to go to in there? Hello. A lot. Miss Sweet says, Elle will marry you, Demetri. Manifesting is real. He might, but he might not. Pam is jamming. How you doing? Where you been? Norris says, Demetri, you really can sing, not sing, but sing. I do all right. Five Rings, how you doing? Says Tim Walz is straight up weirdo. I don't know if Tim Walz is weird. I think he just probably wasn't ready. He's used to doing what he's doing in the state, and I think the big stage is probably a lot for him. You know what I mean? He had a hard job to sell his candidate. I think he had a hard time. That was one of their job, is to sell the candidate. And I just think it was hard for him to do and defend Kamala. Vance had no problem. I'm not saying he was telling the truth, but Vance went to win, and he won. He showed up to win.
One of the biggest lies Walz said is that Kamala has convicted trans cartel things across the border. That's an outright lie. Kamala, as Attorney General of California, has never done that. You want to know why? Because it's not California's job to do immigration. It's the federal government's job to charge things. If you guys can Google Kamala Harris, Attorney General, trying Mexican cartel mules and people are, whatever, please let me know, because that did not happen. That was an outright lie.
Yeah, like when she was at the border not too long ago, she walking tall, she there with her designer boots on, and the Border Patrol Union was like, I'm sorry, Kamala ain't did that. She came up there for a 20-minute photo op. She didn't do anything, and she hasn't been doing anything that we haven't already been doing. It says the talking points that she got now as the talking points from us, but she up here faking the funk, taking photos and bouncing. But let everybody else tell her she was up there rock'em sock'em. She tackling the migrants, hopping up, it's like, knock it off. Kamala wasn't doing none of the above, okay? Because as she told Lester Holt, when he asked her, have you been to the border yet, the southern border? Well, I haven't been to Europe either. Now all of a sudden, she like Rambo on the border.
All lies will be told in 2024.
Yeah. Raven, he says, at the end of the day, when the circus tent comes down, white folks, regardless of political parties, will stick together. Yep, and here we are fighting over, the better massa, and it's sad. It's really sad. Edgy, how you doing? We're about to get out of here. I'm just get to the bottom, make sure Eric acknowledges everybody. Says those folks, police often shoot blacks in the head. None of the candidates condemn it, and blacks still go and vote for them like chickens without a head. I don't get it. Black need their own party. Yep, one day we will. Lori, how you doing? Says Joe is mad at Kamala. He might be. I don't know. It just seems weird. But then maybe Joe don't know who he's mad at nowadays. Raymond, how you doing?
Well, just think about it. You got this person that you picked and you really didn't want to pick to be your vice president because the black women blackmailed you into doing it, supposedly. And then they're trying to push you out. And you say, oh, I'll take his spot. I mean, how would you feel? Seriously. You're supposed to, support this. Now, here's the difference, okay, for you guys that don't really understand politics. If they're going to push him out, why didn't they make Kamala president now? That would have been the better thing. Invoke the 25th Amendment, and move the president out that he's not in his right mind and put her in the seat to become the incumbent. But no, they didn't do that. They let him stay. And his vice president, who's supposed to be his ride or die, says, oh, I'll take the job. And they just move him to the side. So, I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. If I was him, I'd be pissed at her too. Because it's like, I put you in the position that you are, and I didn't even get to sleep with you. And you're going to backstab me like this? Oh, yeah, I throw her out there too.
Well, that's Nancy Pelosi. Says she was very instrumental in telling him, hey, Joe, that is still your name. Okay? It's time for you to step down, okay? Pam says, Demetri, what do you think about Candace Owens' discovery of Kamala Harris's background? I think it's really interesting. Very, very interesting. And you know why that came about? Because people was effing with Janet Jackson. Mad at Janet Jackson for exercising her, whatever it was. They was mad at her, and then Candace says, oh, okay, bet. Well, let's find out if Kamala's really black. And looked like she did a little, somebody got some explaining to do. Listen, I don't even mess with Candace like that, but I got to give it to her. She went on a deep dive analysis about who Kamala really is, and she brought some receipts. Double A says Kamala is going to win. I just know it. We'll know when we know. Rain, did I say hello to you? If I didn't, hello. How you doing, by the way? A lady says we're not a monolith. We have different reasons for voting the way we do. Then why y'all effing with black people who don't want to vote for the Democrats if we're not a monolith? I think you need to go to the mirror and say, lady, we are not a monolith. There are some black people who don't want to vote for the Democrats. And guess what? That's okay. It is not our job to bully them, harass them, or try to make them feel less than or drag them back onto the Democratic plantation. See, because that's a lot of things. Times y'all just be saying stuff. Oh, black people are not a monolith. Then why y'all messing with black people who don't want to vote for Kamala?
Wait a minute. The Democratic Party's for democracy. See, you're supposed to do what we tell you to do, you Negroes. That's democracy. But then again, if you really think of the history of the Democratic Party, they are the ones that fought for slavery. And they went to war about it because they feel they own black people. It's as simple as that. Their mantra has not changed.
Yeah. Angela, how you doing? It says prayers for Asheville, North Carolina residents. Most of my family is there. Thankful there were no deaths in my family. People are helping each other. FEMA is a joke. Yeah, they're saying that they're just. I even saw some places in Louisiana. It was the one before that there was just towns and little cities that were just forgotten about completely. And you know who mostly lived there? It was us. Tony says, question, has anyone else noticed that keep trying to shame black men instead of incentivizing black men to vote? Yeah, because that's how it is. The history in America with black men, the relationship with black men is y'all some all stupid, docile imbeciles that need to be told what to do. You cannot think for yourself. You old fools, you. That is the sentiment. But it's like, y'all gonna mess around and find out at the polls that black men do not like to be insulted. You calling the black woman a backbone, but in essence, the black man, the backbone of the Democratic Party, the black man votes right behind her. He ain't that far off from behind her, but yet she gets all the credit and telling the black man to shut up and do as you're told. But then mad because black men don't want to show up. And he got Magic Johnson standing up there. And listen, I said I wasn't going to go there. I'm going to go there just a little bit. Just a little bit. How tall is Magic Johnson?
Magic, I think, is like 6'8", 6'9".
All 6'9" of him is standing up there, and his son is about just as tall as he is. He telling the rest of black men in America what to do. He couldn't tell his black son not to be a black woman. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, I ain't gonna go no further than that. See, it sounds like Magic got some. Use your magic and go do the voodoo that you do so well in your own household. Okay, your son is running around in women's clothes, and most of the time when women go to the goddamn store, we can't find the clothes because. Shut up, Demetra. Shut up.
But it makes you wonder what kind of agenda is the Democratic Party pushing? And, when it comes to black men, you want us to do a certain thing or follow. Remember that old thing? No voting, no bugging. I mean, come on. Now, when you start messing with our women and denying us, our needs, we're going to have some issues. But this is how they think they can control black men. We can't control you by telling you. We're going to control you economically and physically and sexually. Vote. And that shows you the Democratic Party has a problem if they got to use all those mechanisms just to get black men to vote Democrat.
Yeah, Cynthia says, I wonder how does Magic Johnson feel about allowing men into women's restrooms, locker rooms, prisons, and sport? You know how he feel about that. You know how he feel, okay? Bernard, did I say hello to you? Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thunder says there was an article that showed the 5 states that have the most black voters equal to 12 million, and the amount of illegal migrants is over 12.5. Yes, if you're a numbers guy, it's starting to make sense, huh? Yep. James Pouncey, how you doing? Says black men stand your ground, God, family, and vote your wallet. Rebuild our black communities for stronger communities. There are no policies the Democrat Party has for black people.
Well, I'm going to say this, Dimitri, and I kind of agree with you. I kind of, in the back of my mind, hope Kamala wins because that's going to wake a lot of black people up, just like when Biden got into office. And, he's going to do this. Give him time. You are going to see firsthand how black people are going to have to come together as a people or we will not survive.
Yep. Hey, really, how you doing? Say, cosplaying, shaking my head. Hey, Nicole, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I really don't try to get into whether she's black or not, because I don't care what she is at this point. If she wants to lie to kick it, that's on her. But since she's so black, what you gonna do for black people? Okay. Obama got us twice. And sister girl Kamala, you won't get us 3 times. And as I said, Kamala may win, but guess what? A lot of us didn't make it easy for her. At this point in the game, less than 30 days in, the black vote is still holding out and not giving her that 85, 90, 95% that everybody else before her has benefited from. She is not getting that. Will she get it? I don't know. It all remains to be seen. But we letting her and the Democrats know, Roland, Ricky, whoever else, Joy, that nobody's just walking to the polls no more. Nobody's doing that. Not for you anyway. Are you looking at Steve, looking at Donovan's jersey? I'm gonna let him go too because I know he's his Cowboys are playing and he feels like if he's not there, that they won't win. A lady, he says, I have no right to tell people to shut up about their choice. I'm not telling people. That's y'all telling people to shut up about the choice. That's y'all Democrats are telling people to do that. You can vote for whoever you want for. It's not my business. You're going to boot to yourself. But that's y'all. Y'all telling black men shut up and do as you told. That was Simone Sanders as she was quarterbacking, linebacking for that of Biden. But telling black men to shut up, do as you're told. Nobody's speaking to you. Huh? Wow. Anyway, yeah, Mad Dog, a bunch of bullies. Zakiah, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It says real quick, great points, but regarding black issues with Trump has more to do with his emboldened racist followers. They block his shine and he kind of allow it. I'm a Trump supporter. Yeah, some of them do, but there's Blue MAGA as well. Blue MAGA is, I think, it's just as worse. Yakub, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. All right, we're about to get out of here. Let me see. I'm trying. Jupiter, how you doing? How you doing? Who else is on here? JBWR, how you doing? Of course, we'll be back here on Tuesday with more, I'm sure. Bernard, you want me to come on down? Where am I going to? Jay, how you doing? He said bars drop DK for the dub. Okay. Who else? I don't want to leave and not say hello to everybody. High Tech, how you doing? I did see you earlier, but I want to say hello. First Fruits. Donovan, that red boy, how you doing? Says, we love you, DK. Keep telling you. I love you too. Jamal, how you doing? Donovan, anything else you want to add before we get out?
Yes, I want to say this. If you guys out there are not supporting the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, the only stadium that opens up so God could watch his team play, then there's got to be something wrong in America, because if the Cowboys do good, America does good.
Yeah, Mr. Melody, how you doing? Says, no, we don't want Kamala to win for that homosexual spirit, run rampant, no dude, black, yellow, or whatever you are knowing your comment cut off. Miss Sweetie says, why are these celebrities, entertainers, and athletes chosen to speak on political matters? Magic, Cardi B, Uncle Luke, and others, because in the past we have allowed them to talk to us, to tell us what to do. We've allowed that. Nobody, no other community does that. Even they tried it with Taylor Swift. Oh, Taylor Swift is endorsing Kamala. That didn't get her a bump. Not the Swifties. That's what they call Taylor bases. Taylor Swift's base. They are a force, and they didn't get her a bump. In fact, it sounds like she's probably. Some people were pretty mad at her, you know, but it's just our community that we have, as Malcolm X said, entertainers for leaders. So, allegedly, Jay, how you doing? So, Obama woke him up. A lot of people are delusional, will be after Kamala. Yep, they will be. That they'll think that, oh, we're out of the woods now. Kamala gonna show her ass. Y'all could take that to the bank. Kamala gets in there. Y'all think she a mess now? You just wait till she get on up in there. How you doing? Says bag of blacks ain't getting anything. You know what? You better go ahead and trademark that. Paul, how you doing? Says like the far left is speaking because too many have left this conceptual plantation they've depended so dearly on in the past. Yep. He says qualified immunity. Thank you, Trump. A lady, Biden and your homegirl in office now. What's taking them so long? Obama was in office. Oh, speaking of which, Donovan, did you hear about that blue alert they issued in Texas? All of Texas at 4:40 in the morning got a blue alert because an officer, I think in Lubbock somewhere, was shot. And do you know they said 4,000 people called, I don't know, the FCC or somewhere and complained. Like, what the hell? I'm way on the other side of Texas and you giving me a blue alert, like woke up all of Texas that was not asleep with this blue alert. That was under the Obama administration. Obama made the blue alert to let police people know that a police officer has been hurt and to be on the lookout, but then he didn't get no black alert. But y'all want to talk about Trump and this qualified immunity thing, but y'all never want to get a conversation to the Democrats. Kamala and Joe Biden in office right now, and black people are still unprotected. No smoke for them. Just asking. All right, so let's get out of here so Donovan can go watch his beloved team hopefully win. Cross your fingers, your feet. Thunder says, can you show us where to check? Make sure we're still registered. You know what? I'll find out for sure on Tuesday. I know you can go online to find out. I know here in Texas you can. What website that is, I'm not sure, but I had checked once before to make sure that I am registered. He says early voting in Texas starts October 21st. I definitely will vote. Oh, I won't be here. But when I get back, I will be sure to do it. All right. I think I got everybody. Kenneth, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thunder says that blue alert makes me think about 1984. Okay. Anyway, love and appreciate every last one of y'all. You guys have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see y'all on Tuesday. We have a podcast as well, so y'all be on the lookout for that. And again, if you have not already signed up for the African Diaspora News Channel app, please go do so, because these platforms here are not guaranteed for us. So that's all I'm going to say. In the meantime, you guys have a great day. Peace.